Scott, maybe just talk a little bit about the benefit of the number of grind it out, take it right to the final buzzer type of games that you've had during this streak, as opposed to, if they were all like the season opener in Edmonton or that San Jose game.
Yeah, I think we talked about it last week. Everybody's still in the race. Everybody's at this time of year, everybody still thinks they're in a playoff run. So you're not getting easy games. You have to go and take it from teams. And all these games have been real competitive. On the road that you're gonna, the other teams aren't going to stop playing. And I like the fact that whether it's the first shift to the last shift, that we're going kind of as hard as we possibly need to go and sticking with kind of how we want to continue to play.
Just in terms of consistency, a little bit of context, 4-0 at home, you've outscored teams 18-8. 4-0 on the road, you've outscored teams 18-8. Your penalty killing units are tied. I mean, can you get any more, consistent from that perspective than you have in these first 8 games? Yeah,
I think that's, the word what you use there, consistency. I think that, like I said, there isn't a road way or a home way to play. It's not against one. You play one way against one team and different against another. We have a style and a system and standards that we want to stick to. And I didn't know those stats that you threw out there, but at the end of the day, it has more to do about us playing our game on a consistent basis.
Your course is like 53 point. No, I'm just. I'm not.
I was just going to say
we're not doing.
Say I'm leaving here.
yeah. I can just throw anything out, right? Yeah. How was Cole's composure to start the year? How has it been over the last few games? It looks like he's kind of really settled into kind of his role this year on both the second line and the power play.
Yeah, I mentioned to you guys, missing those first few days of camp, a couple of those exhibition games. All he was a little bit farther down the road, and now he's up and running to where he needs to be at, and that line is pretty cohesive out there. They got a pretty good feel about each other. His playmaking ability, his vision, obviously are a big part of his DNA. That shot the other night, great. Obviously a great goal for us, great time of the goal. But you know what? You can tell he's a kid too, that when he gets comfortable and he's feeling good about himself, he really makes a lot of plays, and he can sometimes be his own worst enemy. He gets hard on himself, but right now he's feeling good, and hopefully this runs for a while.
How do you exploit that further? The way that he's playing?
Stay away from him.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't overcoach him.
Yeah.
No. I had more talks to them when just trying to keep them upbeat and positive when they were trying to get going at the start, first 3 or 4 games. But now it's kind of, we always have our video things as a group or individuals that the coaches are showing stuff, little detail stuff. But at the end of the day, let those guys play. I mean, they're skilled players. They know what to do with the puck, and they know what's ahead of them. They're seeing the ice, and he's on a roll, and you kind of let him go.
He talked about on that goal, he was thinking shoot even before he got the pass. Is that a function of how you want your power play to work as much as it is him kind of thinking a play ahead? Because he's talked about how, you get that shot off, like in other goals too, like Ehlers as well, as just funneling pucks to that, getting that sort of thing, trying to create that chaos.
Yeah, that's been a mindset right from the beginning with our power play, and also 5-on-5 is to create more plays into that blue paint, and Davis has stressed that a lot, whether it's a face-off, whether it's an entry, whether that's been that situation. He could have made one more pass. Maybe he passes to Pionk and we don't get that look, but at the end of the day, he felt he was in a great spot, and the goalie had to shift from coming around the back of net, had to shift from post to post, and like I said, we made a hockey play, and obviously it was a big one.
Scott, not sure if you view this as sort of glass half full or glass half empty. You guys have given up the first goal in 6 of 8, and yet you're 8-0, which you must love the way your team obviously sticks with it, even when falling behind. On the other hand, I suspect you'd like to see your team maybe get that first goal a little more than it has. How do you kind of equate that?
Yeah. I don't know how to figure it, really. I think that at the end of the day, I'm worried about what's happening at the end of the game. Don't like to get down, but the opposition has a lot to say about that sometimes. The other one last game was a little bit freaky there off the mask, but the end of the day, we always talk about 60-minute games or 65-minute games that you never know how long it's going to take, and stay in them. I think on the road there was a couple of times where we got down 1-0, and whether it was a chance against or a power play against, we didn't let it get to 2. And just like the way we stay in games, we compete and come back. Hopefully that stat will flip and go the other way. Just us scoring first, not the other way, but just shows our willingness to stay in games and do whatever it takes.
Scott, what fine details would you like to see in your team play as you move forward? I mean, the results look good, but beneath that, what are your priorities to keep working on?
Yeah, I mean, coaches are sometimes a little more critical than everybody else. We have things within our game that we always look at. I think that early on in the year there was some things. There were some things through our neutral zone and through the forecheck that got away from us, and we worked on it. On the road, we got out and we had talked about, so we faced some teams that have a heavy forecheck, which we're going to see tonight. That we worked on we talked more about our breakouts and working on some of those areas and making sure we're smooth, fast, cleaner. Same thing with our transition through the neutral zone. So I wouldn't pin it on one. I think we just kind of you kind of take it you look at kind of a few games and how things are kind of moving where you are on different areas, and you can't stab everything. You got to kind of find some areas that maybe are relevant to the next game you're playing. And I thought on that road trip our breakouts were going to be a big part of where our success was going to come from.